taking a selfie.
Hello, Facebook friend. You know, today it's been such a treat to be here with two leading people, not just in the community, but within the real estate, and they're very involved and engaged with things that are going on locally at a state. And we're going to be going next month, believe it or not, to Washington, because these are two leaders that really care about the community, home ownership, and about the development and empowerment of our industry. And today I'd like to introduce, he doesn't need an introduction, but I want to introduce him, none other than he owns his own company, but he's the vice president of our chapter. And I'd like to introduce to you guys our fearless colleague, Ulises. Ulises, please greet us and, say a few words.
Well,
what's the goal of the chapter? What are we doing? Why are we making a difference? You as the vice president is such a key thing, because in actuality, you do a lot of the work to make our presidente look good. And that's really your job,
Well, first and foremost, I definitely want to thank you for the invite. When Amado calls you at 10 p.m. and tells you, hey, I would love for you to be here tomorrow, it doesn't matter. If you're breathing, you're going to be here. So it was a great morning, a great session. And again, the more you learn, the more you earn. But talking about NARED, I think we're all here very passionate about the movement, about what it means, what it represents, and what our fearless leader, Kevin James, believes as our current president about promoting sustainable homeownership, bringing value to each and every one of our members. Because again, in the past, there wasn't a whole lot of value, so members didn't see it and they were not renewing. So KJ is obsessed with making sure that every member that we currently have, plus the ones that God willing are going to be signing this year, that they leave each and every one of our events with major value that they can start implementing immediately on their business, whether you're a realtor or lender, just an entrepreneur, period. We want to bring value, and we are committed to making sure that all of you take your businesses to new heights in 2020. So, absolutely.
Thank you so much. One of the things that I love, like attending board meetings and other things, is because you go in at this level, you come out of there at a completely different level, because more than anything, you see a need for all of us to make a contribution. And a few weeks ago, Gary Acosta wrote a blog, and in his blog, he said that in order for an entrepreneur to be successful, obviously he needs intelligence, he needs to have a certain level of decisiveness, and then he needs to have charisma. Well, I
don't have any of that, but that's why I always like to surround myself with people that do.
I believe that we have that, but then he added one thing that is really that's the difference. And a lot of times we wonder why a lot of these CEOs from our Fortune 500, why they get to be where they're at. And a lot of times, obviously they have those three attributes that I just mentioned, but they have connections. And at NARED, that's one of the things that we want to do, connect entrepreneurs so that we can all go to the next level. And I'm very humble to introduce to you guys someone that he doesn't need any introduction. He's our president of our chapter.
Absolutely.
And I asked him if he would stay after the meeting, because
he has to cancel a flight in Dubai to be here, so we definitely want to thank him.
I want to say that I am humble having him here, and besides being my colleague, he's a very good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Someone I have a lot of respect for. Sir, please.
Yeah. Hi guys, Kevin James Gonzalez, SoCal Inland Empire chapter president. First, Amado, thank you for having just an amazing morning. It's, again, guys, NARED, it's all about leadership. And so, Amado being on our board of directors, that we handpicked who we were going to surround ourselves with. This man has demonstrated years of excellence, not only in his name, but in his character and his integrity as a leader for his own organization. So that means a tremendous amount to me, Amado, to be here and to watch how you've led and inspired others. Even in that hour and a half meeting with Paul Herrera, the Ivar local attorney, right, that handles our government affairs, brought great value. And this is what it's about for not only for your employees, but for our members as an association. We are the representative and we are the voice for the voiceless. And so many of you are in an industry that you work in, but you truly don't understand all the components that happen in regards to policy that truly affect your future, your ability to provide for your family, to build your legacy. And so this is why we're passionate. It is about educating those that we surround ourselves with. I'm grateful for my Vice President, Ulysses Vega, that's been on this journey, who's made tremendous amount of sacrifice, and that extension goes to everyone in our board that is moving in one direction.
Common goal, one common
Right,
goal.
and so it is about leveling up, it is about elevating our business as professionals. And here we are in 2020, make no mistake about it, guys. How we did business 5 years ago is not how we're doing business today. And what we're doing today, from a standpoint of you supporting the entrepreneur, building the entrepreneur, and making sure that you as a professional have a clear vision. Because one of the other things that Gary had talked about, every leader needs to have vision for his people that he's leading. Those without vision perish. So we want to make sure that guys come, get excited, regardless of the company you represent. We are a NAREP family. That is everybody that wants to contribute, that wants to give their very best to help others and elevate others. And that's what we do as leaders. We lift others, we build others. We don't leave anybody behind, we don't leave anybody down. And because of the dynamic, we need people like ourselves from different markets to come in and educate us, because it's always about never stop growing, never stop learning. I do love Amado's ABC, Mr. Always Be Closing, but I call it Always Be Creating. It's really always be connecting. You know, I have 3 of my own ABCs, but the ABC of Always Be Creating and Always Be Connecting, like today, is very relevant in 2020. So make no mistake about it. If you're the agent that's just sitting back, hoping that things are going to go back to the way they were, I'm sorry, my friend, it's not going to happen.
It's going to be a rude awakening.
You
Absolutely.
know, it's funny that you say that, because a lot of times, I mean, I was born in Mexico, and the way, like I saw things, I went back a few years ago, and it was completely different from what it was. It changed. And our profession is no different. Everything is moving, but one of the things, Mr. James, that you being our president, you're also a certified speaker. Tell us about, like, what got you into that, and what motivates you, or what keeps you that fire going?
So passionate about something is.
Exactly.
Well,
Because most people, I mean, let's face it, okay? And one of the things why, I mean, I get excited and my adrenaline goes crazy is because
He's dominant. He's
no,
dominant.
No. You know what? There are so many times. I hate to confess this, that I feel average. I feel like no matter what I do, I feel like that freaking little mouse, with the cheese and I'm trying. But I find that if I just continue to surround myself with people that are go-getters, the people that have that same passion and vision, then I cannot measure myself to nobody. I measure by myself, and guess what? I mean, I live a good life, but I want to live a better
He
life.
wants to live a great life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, like all that training and all that discipline and all that delayed gratification, studying, preparing yourself.
Yes.
I mean, tell us a little bit about that. Tell us the real James behind the scenes.
He's going to tell us the real deal Holyfield.
The real deal Holyfield. That's right.
All right. So buy my book for $99, and I'll tell you the
That's okay.
Shipping is 20 on Amazon.
Hey, listen. We're gonna be selling the book.
I'm kidding. We don't.
No, Ulysses is gonna be doing the
Questions regarding
marketing.
pre-orders, 909-471.
No. Ulysses is gonna be the marketing, but please make the check payable to me.
Me,
That's
that's right.
Go ahead.
So at the end of the day, guys, again, I think for me in my own journey is finding how I can continue as a father, as a son, as a partner, as a brother, as a leader, to continue to work on myself. Because one of the things is, it's one thing to be successful in life, and that's really cool. in my age and in my journey and in my experience, I found that you want to not just be of success, but you want to be of significance. And that's where you really find things that you are intangible, the intangibles, Amado, the relationships. We go to Washington and
the
people know your
camaraderie that
name.
you build.
And the respect, because people want to see other people get to the next level. And for myself, in the way I've been able to do that is being in the service of others. And so being able to get up and asked to come and speak and being asked to motivate and inspire, more importantly, educate people that, listen, we all come from brokenness. We all been, we
Why
were
do they call
born-
us brokers? Because we're broke.
yeah, but you don't come from that place of, wealth and you didn't have to earn it because your parents left it. We have to work, and the sacrifice and discipline is part of that process, and being committed to the task. And then the delayed gratification comes when you see that 8 other people that you were able to impact have impacted 8 more people, and that pay it
Just
forward
continues.
concept is that trend.
James, and I said this very respectfully with a lot of admiration. I mean, I've known you for a lot of years, and I've known you even before you were like involved in the chapter. You came in as a VP,
Correct.
and now you're our president. And I always believe that we attract people the way we are. And if I was to measure you by the people you surround yourself, you're in awe, because some of your friends, I remember meeting you in San Diego, running into you, and there's a freaking brand new Lamborghini, and I said, man, that's a nice car out there. And he says, well, today I'm driving it, but then tomorrow I'll be driving. But I said, my God. He says, well, yeah, I have a friend and acquaintances, and we do business together. And I said, that I was impressed, not by the car, okay, but I was impressed with the fact that his friends
Are better than your friends.
Not true, not true.
allowed him
His friends are
to
better
share
than
that.
yours.
But we all have energy,
Yes.
and that energy we convey. And for you to be, I mean, what is it to have a friend like an Alex?
Yeah, it's a blessing, and again, you're grateful because there's a backside story that many of us don't get to see. The problem is everything's socialized. So for many of you that are not very well educated in really discovering deep what social media is and knowing the backstory, a lot of times they get the result. They go, oh, Amado, you must be successful, but they don't understand all the worry, the stress,
the journey to get
the
there.
journey to get there, the sacrifices of no sleep, right? Extra hours to help your other agents win. So yeah, it's a tremendous blessing, and that perspective inspires you to want to be better, and it kind of circumvents the delay getting there, because you can fast track there by being surrounded by people. So they tell you here's what I did, and then you realize, like, if I do that too, because I can, and all of you can, right? It's just about understanding. Then you make that commitment, and then you have to take massive action, embrace fear,
There it is.
embrace the chaos, forget the haters. It doesn't matter. That's the big thing, right? We got a lot of naysayers.
Doing what you do is that you're going to have haters. And you just have to embrace it.
If I may say something, one time I follow my very good friend, not just colleague, Mr. Elises, and he said something that we've all heard it, but he just gives confirmation. He said leaders are readers, and readers keep score. And he's very hard on himself, because I wake up one day going to social media, and he's already awake driving to Palos Verdes. What were you doing over there in Palos Verdes, and why do you do the crazy stuff like that? Please share that with us.
Because we're obsessed with winning. We're obsessed with getting better. And one of the things that our business coach and dear friend David Halpern always drills into our head is that you are a reflection of who you surround yourself with. So if you were at a table with the CEO of Amazon, the CEO and founder of Microsoft, the biggest billionaires in the world, I would feel honored to be the dumbest person in that room, because I'm only going to go up.
Right.
And a lot of us, based on our culture, based on our being Latinos, we don't feel that we're worthy of being at that table, and we self-sabotage our careers. So you have to surround yourself with people that are doing bigger things than you. It's like playing basketball, and you're playing one-on-one with me playing one-on-one with my 11-year-old and thinking that I'm the best. Try to do that with somebody that's playing college ball, maybe. or a professional,
Yeah.
then maybe you'll see that maybe you're not as great as you think you are. So surround yourself with, again, people that you want to mirror your careers after, and never stop learning. Always ask questions. Be humble enough to be transparent, and put your ego aside and say,
I wanna
Mr.
learn.
Amado, how did you do that? I reached out to KJ so many times. How did you do that video? Hey, wait a minute. How did you do that? How did you come up with that stuff? And you got to be humble to realize that you don't know everything, and there's people that may know a few things that you don't, and it's okay to ask. They'll actually appreciate you if you reach out to them. I mean, I've reached out to so many great leaders in our industry, from a Christian Fuentes, a Ricardo Acevedo. I'm okay with putting my ego aside and say, hey, bro, how did you do that? Or you know what? I saw you killing it at that last video, man. Any tips that you could give me? It's okay.
Yeah. And it's all about the best business practices, which you bring every week by the Huddle Up. Again, and again, guys, remember, you win or you learn. There's no losing as long as you're committed to the process. So take those lessons, reflect, always walk in gratitude, always be grateful, because no matter what, somebody else has it way worse than you do. We're in the greatest country in the world. Embrace it. Make sure you get out and vote on March 3rd. Amado, thank you for having us. It's an honor to be under your leadership here. It's nice to see you at work, at play, and building. Much success to you, Mike Ioki, for continuing to grow at Unbelievable. And then you're venturing off into true entrepreneurship with multiple revenue streams in multiple industries, and that's what it's about. That should inspire you.
I wanted to ask in closing, Ulises, in a few words, what describes Ulises, and why is Ulises so passionate about making his legacy something that people look up to? And I don't need to go into your course,
But that's
I know the relationship that you have with your mom, and sometimes, I don't say I understand you because I don't, but I did lose my dad, and
that feeling of that emptiness is still there.
You learn to live with it, but I believe that they're out there, watching us and pulling for us. But what describes Ulises in 10 seconds, please?
I think just being obsessed with learning, not being content with being average. I don't think we, as human beings, were born to work 40 hours at a 9 to 5, pay bills, and die. I feel that we all have a purpose without, getting religious and trying to push somebody's beliefs. But I feel that we were born for a reason, and everybody has a gift. You just have to be willing to tap into what Amado said, your inner you, and figure out what is your why. Everybody needs to have a why. What is the reason? What drives you every morning to get up, even when you don't feel like it? This morning I just was feeling out of it. I rarely sleep to begin with, but being here and learning more so that I can separate myself from the pack. And again, being around these two entrepreneurs, two leaders, because again, you're a reflection of who you hang out with, who you text, who you call on a regular basis. KJ and I sometimes talk on the phone 3-4 times a day, and we share ideas, and we're like, hey, so how's everything? So surround yourself with people that are doing bigger things. Be obsessed with learning, reading, and always strive to get better. Never be content. Appreciate what you have, but always strive for more. And just be obsessed with that. Absolutely.
In 10 seconds, KJ, what describes it, and what drives AJ?
He's unbelievable.
Passionate family.
Okay.
My why is my family. That's for me. It's wanting to be a good example for those that I get the privilege of leading, and for my family and friends. It is that I came up and didn't have much, and so I learned to have that life. We can have whatever it is we believe and we create, and what we're willing to sacrifice for.
Manifesto.
Listen, anything that you love requires sacrifice. If you don't want to do the work, it ain't gonna happen. You gotta be willing to do the work, and you can't cheat that. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Listen, your character, your integrity is gonna come through no matter what or where you do it at. And I think over the years, we've known each other, but what happens is, as this journey, how many people have we seen, thought we're gonna do well, and then fall off? So, don't quit. Please believe in yourself. Never stop believing.
Be willing to put in the work. And again, when it comes to real estate, the rent is due every day, and it's got to be paid up front. And there's no shortcuts. The easy money goes away fast.
Very
A lot of agents get their license, and they feel that because they have a DRE number, that it automatically comes with a database of 10,000 people waiting for your phone call. You gotta put in the work. You gotta hustle, and you gotta not be in the transactional business, but the relationship building. If you take care of the client, the only thing that matters and will ever matter instead of your patient, you'll never have to worry about where's my next escrow gonna come from, because they're gonna be referring left and right, so
Yep, good stuff.
definitely.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
know,
everyone.
in closing, I like to close with something that, you know, imagination is something of the spirit. Ambition is something of the spirit. Whatever you can imagine, you're capable of doing, but you have to be willing to make that commitment towards it. Very rarely do I use, when I'm illustrating, particularly working with people, and I get to coach a lot of people, I don't use sports. Now you say why? Well, in sports, there's going to be a winner, there's going to be a loser. And to me, in the business that we practice, everybody wins. And what I always tell people is, can you come up with a model, a business model where everybody's going to win? And generally, as easy as that sounds, sometimes, you know, they'll go back and then they'll come and say, yeah, I got it. Anyway, I just want to say that whatever the mind can believe and conceive, it can achieve. And that's a quote, you know, from Dale Carnegie. And I want to thank Jesse for doing the video. And all
Very
of you out
emotional to
there.
see you this morning, Jesse.
And,
You're awesome.
anyways, remember your ABCs. Always be closing. God bless you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.